Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review. Remember Hunger Aaron, not Ellen Child.
No, don't get me confused with that lady.
As you heard, me and my homegirl Erin, I'm going to let you know about the What's Going Down episode of the last part 3 reunion, season 19, Real Housewives of Orange County. Everybody, please help me welcome Erin to the stage. Woohoo! Yes. You on mute, friend?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had an intruder.
Oh,
not that kind, but yeah. Yes, I did. Yes.
You've been welcomed.
Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I got cream cheese wontons, and somebody thought the dipping sauce was not for me, and I almost had to have a throwdown while we were, because we're not gonna mess around with that. But thank you for having me, late aunties and unks. Happy Saturday. Thank you.
Dipping sauce is important. Tell me.
Right?
I feel the plight. Baby. You know what? I just want to show real quick. I think this is so cute. This little background that's going on that StreamYard has given us. So they got a few different backgrounds, but this is my favorite. I think I'm going to use this moving forward on certain things. But anywho.
Very autumnal.
But back to these heifers, because we really love their outfits, just saying. It's something nice to look at, while we're dragging them for Phil. Well, you know what, y'all? This is the final of season 19. We're going to dive right in because we got ish to do. And if you didn't notice, yes, we have an 8 o'clock live tonight, y'all. Woo-hoo! Of Southern Charm, season 11, episode 1. So come back for that, please. And thank you. And all of this is Pacific Standard Time, specifically. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We are.
So, I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just saying we are making sure we do our reviews before the holidays. You think they're going to take the week off? I think they are. Yeah. Maybe not.
Well,
we'll figure that out.
I am enjoying this. Girl, so many shows coming up, girl.
I know.
Be like, woo.
Yep.
It's just be show, which is great because I am trying to get monetized, y'all. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and make sure the bell is black, please. And thank you. Now, you want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Now, I'm so sick of this. I'm going to say it like I'm going to say it. Space cake and shrooms. They did. Andy loved them being inebriated. Andy, okay, watch yourself now. There's some litigation waiting on you. Just you don't want to promote it now. Come on. Even though we are Californians, and yes, they were in the country of all countries to enjoy without having any problematic people around, but why the shroom? Have you, if you don't mind me asking, have you ever?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know of what it tastes
like?
I've
done it. I have also done microdosing psilocybin for treating for like mental health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of positive research about what it can do for mental health, and they taste
Okay.
nasty, they taste disgusting.
Mm.
So I wouldn't recommend just chewing on one, but you could also do it as a tea. They have the chocolate, it's a mushroom, it's kind of a bitter, gross, but um,
Yeah.
especially even in a small dose to where you're really not seeing things because where everything is, it's just it's somewhat similar to being tipsy, but it's a little different, obviously.
Okay. And the psychedelic type of effect, is that true or no?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes you very kind of similar to what they were acting like. It makes you laugh pretty easily,
Mm-hmm.
like if you didn't take enough to really hallucinate, then you can interact with people, and like lights are kind of amplified, things look
Mm.
a little bit more intense, or sounds, things like that.
Okay. So you guys, if you watch the shows, you'll know that the graphics that production made when the ladies were indulging in the space cakes, THC, and shrooms, that's exactly how Aaron described. That's exactly what happened. So they were giving us was a bird's eye view. Is that how you say it?
Hmm. Yeah, and I
Of
think
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm
No, no, no.
interrupting
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, didn't they went to some exhibit that kind of like amplified that experience. They had all of those
Mm-hmm.
visual exhibits and all of, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so kind of playing upon what they were experiencing. But like,
Okay.
how when you heard Heather like walking through, I don't like this is the thing, she was kind of being silly, like it's kind of how you are. You're a little bit more giddy, silly, like that kind of thing.
Like, listen, girl, that's you in that picture. That's all y'all in these pictures and videos looking like y'all looking. It is what it is. Just go on with it. Just go on with it, y'all. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'm glad that of course they're being safe and cautious, which is the number one rule when you're indulging, no matter what it can be any substance, liquid, powder, whatever y'all doing.
Oh, yeah.
Safe. Be safe with it. That's all. That's
Mm-hmm.
all we need, because we don't need no accidents. We don't need no oops. We don't need no nothing going on in the court
Yeah.
because you decided to indulge and then do something else that got you to the court. So
I
be
will
safe,
say,
y'all.
I really don't think people on mushrooms want to drive, unlike people that have been drinking. I just, but I digress. They were having fun,
Yeah.
I think it was lighthearted. We needed to see more of
Mm-hmm.
that. And frankly, considering how many of these housewives have problems with alcohol, trying some other alternative things like THC and microdosing mushrooms, because they weren't doing a lot. Um, and you can microdose much more easily on these products than you can with
Mm-hmm.
alcohol. So I'm all for it.
Well, good for them. One thing I do know for a fact, I've been saying this for a few years now. If y'all been hearing the reviews and what I've been saying, Shannon was the number one person who needed just to relax with a little something, something, because she is the most
Mm.
uptight woman I have seen on TV in a very long time. I'm
She
just
is
saying.
very wound tight. And I know she makes that like her shtick, but she was a lot more fun on the space cake than she is, otherwise.
And Sutton from Beverly Hills Housewives show surprised me that she indulges. I think because they two are the same pod, if you ask me. So maybe they need to hook up a little more. Since Sutton is a friend of the OC show, they did a little crossover a little bit when
Oh,
she came
that's
on
right, they
last year.
did.
When she was there pretty much to Heather's uh, uh, or for Heather. But yeah, or actually Gina too. I think there was something to do with real estate maybe. But anyway, I think they should get together and just chillax one time a month, once a month.
Yeah, I don't remember why she was there, but absolutely.
Girl. So then, they were talking about more experiences as Andy's asking them, anyone, had their penises that they painted. They're like, nah. But, Gretchen says she still has her broken D, which is Slade, because she mentioned that earlier in the season, but we ain't going to get into all that.
Mm-mm.
And then we had a bittersweet moment with Heather's dad. Of course, she was there to empty his ashes in the canals of Amsterdam. And Emily went with her, and then they bonded over their similar upbringing and their respect for one another, their newfound respect, I should say, because we know in the past couple of years they've had some tiff and riffs back and forth. But I'm glad that they're understanding each other more so that they can let each other in these sensitive and confidential times,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. It was a nice bonding moment for them. And I think Heather appreciated how Emily approached it. So I was happy for that for them.
I love a good grown ass moment, just I love it. But of course, what happened?
Oh yeah. Well, just because I was gonna say, I feel like Emily and Heather sometimes have the dumbest arguments. Like it's almost like they're looking for some shit with each other,
Girl.
But
I need to turn this up because I think I am not hearing you when you're coming on. So I'm gonna turn my volume up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up. It was a little low. Otherwise, I would have heard you because my voice, just carries. Anywho. So when I said, I meant, but like, we went from good feeling to here we go. So then we touch on Gretchen's social media issues that Tamara is the only one who knew about it, apparently, within this circle. And so Tamara is really hell-bent to catch Gretchen in a lie. And that's where I feel a little, hold on, this is just coming on way too strong. And they were talking about the night that Tamara brought this, Gina brought it to the group's attention because it was bothering Gina from when it was presented to her back in the OC. So, she's like, I got to say something because I just can't hold this in no more. We can't just keep parading around as if we don't know. She needs to be confronted. It is what it is, because that's what we do on these shows. It's confrontation 101, 201, and 501 of these conversations, especially when they're out in the open in front of an audience. They have to be at a restaurant. They can't just be at somebody's house in the privacy of their own. No, they have to be in the most embarrassing moment. Hello. So there, and of course we heard and saw the catastrophe that was where they kicked her out the van, told her to go over there, you go right over there. It was just a real horrible moment for her. And then we see the backlash where they found out that could it not be true because they pretty much just dogged her out at that dinner without real proof. And the one thing that you and I were texting about, because, after we saw, I was like, wait a minute. So we had some good text back and forth. And the one thing I wanted to stress is Heather was Heather, you're my girl now. You and my Gretchen, you're my girls. But Heather, if you listen, watch, and listen, anybody know her, you can't expect someone else to feel the same way you do about a subject matter. And furthermore, why not take her word for it and wait to see how this thing plays out? But we understand how horrible and egregious, disgusting, all those things that whatever y'all saw is. I just don't want Heather or anyone else to just think that everybody feels or has the same degree of feeling or reaction, more so reaction than feeling. Reaction to things like you do, as if her reaction wasn't good enough. I just didn't appreciate that, you know?
You know, now that I've been thinking about, I texted, we started this text because I told her, I don't like this third episode. I don't like it. Like, I just don't. Like, and I know I'm a broken record and a rambler, and I've been saying from day one, I don't like this whole social media blogger, like what you do kind of stuff, because we get into real gray water. Because if you start going through every account everybody follows, you start looking at their liking history, you look at what they liked 5 years ago, what they liked one day ago, you then also start putting the rumors that you get from random people out as evidence of what people are doing. You get their voice all weird on the phone. You're basically giving life to the whole underbelly of the way that people are constructing, taking out of context, manufacturing, doing all kinds of stuff. And you're not taking issues that arise on the show between the two of you and confronting and addressing them. And Heather does a really great job of bringing this up later, but this just goes back to that, where it's like, I've said this, I genuinely think Gretchen has some conservative values that are probably not in alignment with a lot of ours. There's a lot of housewives that probably do. They're in a higher tax bracket than many of us. A lot of them are Republicans. A lot of them are MAGA. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm not excusing anybody, because once I know you're hateful, I can't look away. But weaponizing things against one another, like Tamara pulled this up, like, you know, out of her you know what, to go after Gretchen, I just don't agree with it. And I don't think, I'm tired of hearing about it and how they're trying to prove. I think Gretchen's third party analysis was like, so I don't care. Like, I don't want this. I don't want this. That's what I really feel. And but the truth of the matter is, you know, I think Gretchen has, you know, she's a conservative Christian person, and I think that there's some confliction there. But like you were saying, and like Heather has said, if there's
sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. If nobody has ever shown you that behavior, take a beat before you turn into a group rally to go after her in a group situation about her own private, you know, but well, I know it's public, but like her own social media behavior.
That part. Like she said, you guys know me, like, hello. And the fact that she followed over at a minimum 4,500 accounts. At some point along the way, I mean, I'll say this. I'm more conservative with who I follow. I don't just follow. And I just started like within the year, I just started following more than 50 people. Just to, you know, okay, I think I'm gonna follow them, because I didn't want my feed so overran, you know, and it's to the point where I can't find who I really want to see and all that. So 4,500 people, at some point, something bad is bound to be, you know, looked at, of course, with whom she follows or the crowd that she roams around in. Because she is amongst those racist people that we really don't consider in our lives. So it is what it is. You know, I don't know what to say about that part, but
I mean, I have followed comedy accounts that have like come out with some like weird political rhetoric where I had to unfollow them. Like they were all humor memes, but then like, you know, their political beliefs popped out of nowhere, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not following you, you know. But like I said, I think, you know, Gretchen has, we have to figure out where the line is obviously nobody here, you and I in particular, we love drag race. We love the queer and trans community. We don't
Of course.
subscribe to any of that. And if she really
Right.
genuinely liked and is following, shame on you, Gretchen. Get your head out of your you know what. Because if you're saying that's not you, do right. Do right. She did say she cleaned it up. She probably won't ever she'll be more careful maybe in moving forward what she likes. Do I think if you straight up asked her, is it wrong? And because the Bible says, she might very well say yes, but I also feel like we have to be very careful about weaponizing this kind of stuff against one another. And it starts, if my head starts to hurt trying to figure out who's got a more authentic case of evidence against the accusation, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to have to think. I don't want to have to look at Gretchen's reports from the independent consultant. I don't want to have to see Tamara's DM and know that she talked about it at this point in time and this and that. Like, I don't want to have to, that one meme about white lady and all that math and she's looking really perplexed. That's me. I don't want it. I don't want to think that hard. I don't want to have to figure out which one of you is putting on a more legitimate case because that's too hard. And we're also we have to understand that looking at all of these women of different levels of affluence, communities, and regions, and all of that, hey, DM Rocks, good to see you. Sorry, just caught my eye.
Hey, how you doing?
I just feel like, yes, I understand the top level premise. If you show me that someone is liking hate speech or is supporting something that is out of alignment with their professed values are and my values, my integrity, yes, I want to know, and I'll be like, what the F? But
okay, take me for instance. If somebody said your co-host is, and I'm gonna show you, woo woo woo, wouldn't you address me?
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be ready to jump down your throat because somebody else told me, because I know, you know what I mean, because you and I are friends, and I would be more inclined to trust the relationship you and I have and what you tell me you believe if someone showed me the opposite, especially if we were both famous. Because we know, and especially if one of us versus the other had a podcast that shared gossip. And that's another thing that I was telling my mom. I don't think Tamara straddles both hemispheres well. I don't she's a podcaster with a network of people and a housewife. I don't feel like it's working well because there is this battle of whether or not she sat on this information and how long she did and brought it up to her advantage, right?
She's had more than one bad interaction with Gretchen. I think 2 prior to when she brought this out. So the fact that she's searching, looking for stuff to get back at her with only proves them right. It really, this is all your fault because you're the one going back trying to find stuff on this girl. You and no one's bringing it to your attention. You're the one who's going back and finding and looking and whoop-de-woo. So, at some point, this has to stop, as Heather mentioned later in the episode when they were and then the whole thing with Emily and Tamara, because after all of the cyber analysis that you mentioned that Gretchen brought, they wanted her to prove it, and she brought the analysis by a company. She brought their findings so they can look at it verbatim. She didn't bring copies. She brought what they gave to her, and all roads led to Tamara. Tamara got real irate, and again, Tamara, and then Emily and Tamara got into it, right? just pretty much, telling each other they're assholes and
Yeah.
Emily said, "You've never liked me," and yada, and then Tim's like, "Well, you never liked me." Hello? Really? How old are y'all?
Well, I just think that showed that like their friendship was not built on solid ground at all.
See, as soon as they present Tamara with something she really can't stand on, she'll try and change the narrative. So after letting her know, you hold on to things like they said, how can we trust you with something great within our lives? And then you bring it up. Like the whole point is Tamara can't accept or she can accept accountability or responsibility for the chaos that she causes, as she calls it. Well, I'm just, replying back, but she doesn't want to use the word retaliate, because that's exactly what she's doing, essentially. And she's making a mockery of friendship.
She's yes, and you are correct. And she's proving what, like you already said, I'll say it again. She's proving what they're saying is that we can't trust you, because if we don't act the way you want, or we don't accept, like, if we don't just get over whatever you said to us
Right.
online or on your podcast, because I don't think Tamara even remembers what she says about anybody anymore. I think that, and this is another thing, again, goes back to my whole point. I don't think she does a good job of, I don't think she can mentally play both sides, because it's one thing to be commentary. I have said some things that if I were not doing commentary and I were actually on an ensemble cast with these women, I would not say them. Because, like, this is me being an audience member participating in what I jokingly call judgment for sport, where we look at their lives and we talk about it and we say very judgmental things, because we're doing commentary and we're participating in the whole fun of reality TV, right? And we're talking about nuance, and we're all the things. But if I were actually filming with these women, it would obviously not be worth it for me, or a smart idea, to be so candid. And I'm not here to like try and hurt ladies' feelings either, if I'm having direct interaction and I know them as human beings and not just caricatures on my TV.
Right.
So, I just think that Tamara has lost that because she runs her mouth so much, she doesn't even remember what she says.
Girl.
And it's like, you need to realize that each individual you have run your mouth about, you've hurt deeply, particularly Shannon, because you literally kicked on her while she was down. And you refuse at any point to go, you know what, you're right, I'm mean. Because you could just like acknowledge that. It would go such a long way. And I just want to say, yeah, I get it. Teddy had life-threatening cancer. It sucked. That was one of your closest friends. I mean, call her your best friend. Do whatever you want. It wasn't you. It wasn't Eddie. It like you want to split hairs about what's going on in life. You want to act like because what Shannon did it to herself, that she didn't deserve to have any empathy from people if she was trying to get her life back together. Well, that's fine, but that's not friends. So pick which one you want. You want to be right and justified, or do you want to be a human being with relationships that you want to rebuild?
And then Tamara says she feels ambushed because, like I said, they played that tea about the person, saying that Tamara's spilling info on the show. Now they did point out dates. Andy was real Pacific about I like saying it. I know it's specific, but it's just funny. Anyway.
No, that's what we're here for our little thing.
He was real Pacific about the dates and the timelines and everything that was being aired, because nothing about the show was still being cut, pasted, and whatnot while they got that phone call. So Gina, Jen, Shannon, especially Shannon. Shannon was like, yeah, this is my turn now, Heifer. Gina, Jen, Emily, and Shannon, they were there listening to all of this at Jen or at Ryan's house.
Emily wasn't there.
Emily wasn't there. Who was there? Jen,
Shannon, and
Gina.
Gina.
Okay. They were all over at Jen and Ryan's place listening to, because apparently whoever was DM'd everybody, I think, but Gina was the one who was actually kind of orchestrating the response. And so after the DMs, they were able to have a phone call. I don't know if it was IG phone, shout out to Katie, Janella, or if it was regular phone. Either way, a phone call was made because we're listening to this man, sounds like a man, tell the scenes. And again, nothing was aired yet. They were still trying to cut and paste the show together. So somebody on that cast, well, production has, is around, but at this point, somebody on the cast is telling whoever this person is, claiming that Tamara is, talking about the scenes and cast, talking to bloggers, getting information so she can, keep the lines of communication open and not what. And Tamara says she felt ambushed.
Yeah. DM Rocks brought this up earlier, that people were speculating the person on the phone was a producer that hates Tamara. Mm-hmm. I hated this part because, again, it's like I don't want to have to think too hard to figure it out. I don't want to know, like, don't make me go on like Clue. Like, I don't want to think that hard. I think that Tamara's, again, I'm going to go back to my argument. I think Tamara being in the podcast world makes it real murky. That's what I think. I think it makes it real murky. I think Katie was real murky, was all up in everybody's, clearly talking to everybody, including at parties, ex-convict wives or whatever. Katie was being a journalist. I think that they all have some kind of relationship and hear gossip and share it with each other, with the press. I think that Tamara, because she now does it for a living, is definitely more entrenched in it.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that she's like leaking stuff to like expose the show and ruin the season. So like I just kind of want to ask production, like, because I know Alex Baskin was pissed at Katie for how much the press got because of her, like how much she talked to them. But like I just am wondering, I don't want to think this hard about who's leaking what and doing behind the scenes and this or that or beep bop. That's why when Heather finally said all that, I was like, amen, Heather. Amen. Because I don't care. Like whoever this weird voice was, they're leaking stories on purpose. And what has that done? Like, we have heard people leak other shows, right? We've heard stuff that's come out before the season. Hasn't changed any of us from watching. So, I don't know. I just kind of felt like this is dumb. I don't care. I don't know if I necessarily believe that Tamara's like trying to sabotage the show or like leak, like super, super calculated in it. But I do think she's up to her eyeballs in gossip because of being in the podcast. So I don't think she's taking accountability for the fact that she has an inside track and is talking to all of those kinds of folks. And that it does give her a weird position to make things even more, not delicate, but complicated, I guess. Messy.
And try to blame. This is all Slade's doing, girl. Now you just need to leave people out of this. They're like, well, how could you know if Gretchen didn't know, if it was only between you and uh, uh, Gina in reference to the social media post, the hate speech issue, and Gretchen, like no one else knew. Not even Gretchen knew. So that means Slade. So that's Slade, girl.
No, I don't really buy that either. I think he was running his mouth. I think him and Gretchen started the hospital rumor because they're stupid. But like, I don't think Slade was the one on the phone. Although for a minute there, I thought it could be. But like, nah, Slade is not that good, and he's not trying that hard.
Well, remember that producer who either left or was asked to leave as a producer, and he started spilling tea last year or earlier this year. It sounds like his voice, but then again, I don't know if that if that was really him. But that's the closest thing I can get to as far as who that was spilling tea, because he was spilling tea without a phone box. He was just talking.
I don't think he worked on Orange County, which doesn't mean that he couldn't have been leaked to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I know he was spilling a lot of what he experienced firsthand on the shows he worked on. It could be anybody. Stop doing this shit, production. I don't want it. Because like what happened? Like what did we hear that was so terrible leak-wise that ruined the season? Did you recall? I didn't.
It could have been Joe's husband.
I mean, honestly, what consequence? Like, what major leak of this season? All we kept hearing was it was dark at the end, and as usual, it didn't deliver because this is stupid. This is stupid. It is dark, but it's stupid because like this is not like earth-shattering with Gretchen. I really don't think, even if Gretchen is somewhat conflicted with her Christian values, I don't think she's a hateful person. And I don't really care if somebody was getting info leaked to them because like what did you know going in? I just like what got ruined for you? Did a lot get ruined for you? A lot didn't get ruined for me, other than this stupid storyline.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out when they come back for season 20 if there's any resolve or what have you. And I hope Gretchen comes back. We know Vicky's coming back, and hopefully everybody but Katie will be there.
They didn't set her up for success. They said we don't want you, and and she had the reunion to get a home run to try and come back, and I don't think we're gonna get it. And that's okay.
Yeah. And speaking of regret, so the end of the show was Andy asking them about the regrets, right?
Right.
And Gretchen regrets tea on Tamara, for spilling any and all. She just said, for talking about Tamara like that. I'm sure that meant the so-called porn, music, whatever that was.
The
affair, whatever. And also the what's the other thing I forgot? Girl, so stupid. Any and everything she done said about Tamara, child.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I will say a little caveat. It was funny to bring up that Tamara can't sing. I do think that was funny, Gretchen. I think if y'all could have left it at that, that would have been funny. But all the rest, and then you called Slade, and he just like took the whole dress off. Like God, with the whole recording of it.
You showed your slip, child, when you just had to throw in the extra.
Yeah, that nobody wanted.
You my girl, but hey, hey. And then Shannon, he's going around, of course. And Shannon says she regrets comparing Katie to Alexis. They're nothing of the same. Shannon was pretty, she's still in recovery. She's still shocked at everything. And she's just trying to piece her life back together, have a good time, keep friends, make friends, and just enjoy the moment. Because last year was such a devastation to her nation, child. I don't blame her for just following along more so,
No, and I get it. Like, you want to talk about people we probably wouldn't like if we knew them in person. I've heard Shannon is rude to staff. I've heard she throws tantrums. Like, I just,
Me too.
right? And like, so, but even saying that, she still is allowed to have a down season. Everybody going, she has no storyline, let her go. Give the woman a break. She had to be on the show right after she hit a house and got arrested with Alexis, her ex-boyfriend, who wouldn't even come outside, even though he knew she'd hit a building, wouldn't even come outside to help her. And now he's getting married to her, and she is on the show in her face. And y'all want her to just dance like a pony or a monkey again? Get out of here. Like, she can have a down season. Like, give her a break,
And if y'all can give Karen Huger a standing ovation, y'all can leave Shannon alone. I'm just saying.
Yeah, really, really.
Now, if we see them still cutting up, then okay, all gloves is off. But
yeah,
I think you said that all season until we see them back, doing cutting up. Then leave them be.
That's their business, that's their own personal autonomy to figure themselves out, Yes, thank you. That is true. It doesn't mean we're not looking at you a little closely while you're doing it. Right, because we all have our opinions, but like I stand by what I say, and I'm about to kind of use that argument with Southern Charm, although I don't think Craig is as together as Shannon, but your journey with all of that is yours. But anyway,
again, come back at 8:00, y'all. We gonna review Southern Charm, child.
Yeah.
Anywho, next we have Katie. She regrets what she said about hating Jen in her confessionals because she wants them to come back together, and Jen had no response, just a look. But we're going to get into that after their regrets, because Jen had a little motif to spill about our girl Katie, which is understood why she didn't even respond to her. Like everybody else was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's like, I'm over you, Katie. I've tied up my ship to Gretchen. I'm gonna stand up for her. Bye, ho.
Next, we see Heather. She regrets not being more vocal about the old photo of Jen that Tamara was, trying to embarrass Jen about, showing an older photo. Like,
that's so stupid. Heather was having to search because Heather had a pretty good season too. I thought that was nice of her to do for Jen's sake, but
it
was not Heather's job to fix that one. But
right, but in the moment when I saw that, I would have liked Heather to say, "Oh, that's not so nice," because you knew what she was doing. No matter what the context was before and after, you knew the whole purpose was to embarrass Jen. And sorry, one more thing. And we don't shame bodies as women. That's just not what we are to do.
I think I would have just had a knee-jerk response. That's not heavy. That's like heavier than she is now. But like, I think, because like I said, legitimately, the first thing I thought when I saw the picture was, that is not a fat photo. Get out of here. That's like a normal looking human. None of you guys, you have like anorexic eyeballs, all of you.
Her BMI was still 20 something.
I mean, get out of here.
Was it 28? Oh my God, she needs Jenny Craig. I'm just saying, like, well, if everybody else is a size -4, I guess.
A size 6 is a problem.
Right. Like, hello. But I would have liked Heather to be a lot more vocal too and shut it down at the time. I don't know if it was the champs or what, but it is what it is, I guess. And then Emily. Oh, Jen said thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Emily regrets. She has two. She told Katie she regrets last year's vocal debacle on the Asian designer comment, and she regrets hating on Heather's IMDb.
Did
And
you say
both of them
Gina? Did you
appreciated it.
say Gina or Emily?
Wait, sorry. That
That
was
was Gina's.
Gina's. Sorry, girl. I had Emily for both Emily and Gina. You know how
Well, you could drill that out, but yeah. I thought it was good for Gina. We can go back to Emily after this because you said Gina's. I thought it was good for her to just apologize to Katie because it's like, girl, just lie down with that one. Just
yeah, because
take it back. Just because yeah, it just didn't. Listen, sometimes as white people, it is more important to just shut up than be understood. Because what, even if you didn't mean it, it's a thing called impact versus intent versus impact, and sometimes you just have to go. I just misstepped. I misstepped.
Right.
Didn't come out right. Didn't execute, and I'm glad she just apologized because just make it go away.
Now, this one, I think Emily been listening to us talk because I swear
Yeah.
she answered your call. Emily regret last year's tea on Katie where it hurt her children in the process. And for that, she's sorry for even bringing it up. Girl, she listened. Hey, Emily.
Nice work.
Anybody listening, watching this who know Emily, thank you.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you know what? It worked. She said, I wish that I didn't implicate. I was like, no, back it up. And she did back it up because it's like, no, you did mean it. You meant it how you put it out there. Just back it back up to, I'm sorry that I implied you were like a horrible mother. I'm sorry I took that situation and I didn't throw it in your face in a way that wasn't devastating. It was kind of extra, but she did it enough. She got it. She knew that nobody liked that, and I think it was important for her to apologize to Katie, and I hope that she'll kind of remember that crap when she tries to go after somebody moving forward. You cannot take your legal profession and try to make somebody look bad based on, and she even said it that way. So I wonder, was she listening? But you know what, Emily, I did appreciate hearing you say that to her, though. I do. I do. You made it a point to do it. Good for you. Good for you.
And of course, Katie accepted and all of that. And then Jen's regret was doing the video with Gretchen that hurt Katie in, with that whole whatever, all that stuff, the stuff that they were doing, all the imitations on her, on the Asian culture. I kind of felt like, dang, Gretchen didn't regret that either, but I hope this doesn't add to all of the mess that they said Gretchen was, lying about.
Well, it's like, listen, folks, don't do anything even close to that, because that's actually probably the most racially insensitive move of the whole season, is to mock Asian people like that. So, especially two blonde white women like that. Get a clue. That one was probably the worst one as far as that goes of the season, like I said. So I'm glad that Jen apologized, because I think that's about the only thing she's sorry to Katie for. And it's not just Katie. They should just be sorry, apologize for being racially insensitive, period, because that's what it was. It wasn't just Katie that took offense. If I had seen you guys doing that, I would have been like, ooh, not cute.
Right.
So
for all of us who know better, like, wait a minute.
Yeah, don't do that.
Even when you're trying to imitate someone's voice, I stopped because I said, wait a minute, this may not be appropriate. So I'm not even going to do that anymore. So I'm just going to say it in my voice. Hello, and go with that, because again, if it ain't of me, I'm just going to just say what I'm going to say without trying to sound like somebody else.
Well, especially don't play into some stupid stereotype, some racial stereotype.
That too.
Like, like if there's if you want to, do a vocal fry on a white woman, you want to do an imitation, right? Like, I think we all know where the line is, but like to literally play up on a offensive stereotype, of like kung fu and like, you know, all that kind of crap. Like, get out of here. You wouldn't talk about eating watermelon or something, you know, offensive like that, right? Because you know better. Think about it. You know, you wouldn't be
So
cleaning the house, making some kind of like, you know, some, you know what I mean? Like, stay out of the stereotypes, folks.
correctamundo. So as Jen says her regrets and Kate accepted, I think that's where Andy says, so where do you two stand? And Kate was like, I do, you know, I'm cool with her. We can move forward. Jen was like, eh. Before I came back out, I was in my trailer. Me and Shannon were talking. And then me and my man, I started telling her about what my man had told me, how you walked up to my friend Nicole, who was escorting what's his name? About to call him Matt. Ryan's friend who got busted, y'all.
I don't remember. I already messed up last time with Nicole.
Girl, okay, and I don't want to keep calling him Matt. So whatever his Matt's friend,
yeah, that dude.
Yeah, the one that got busted with the gambling and whatnot. How Katie walked up to her and asked her, so was Ryan involved? And Katie kind of had an attitude when she got the response Nicole gave her. No, like, what's really going on? So how Nicole described it to Ryan is telling Jen, and Jen is talking about it now after Andy is asking, where do you go from here? And Jen was like, no, I'm cool. That's my friend. I'm going to believe her before I believe you, was essentially what Jen was saying. And Katie's like, no, it wasn't like that. I'm not trying to get her cast. That's what Nicole told me. I just met her. No, I can't even do that. No. So apparently here we are again with she said, she said. And yeah, so it kind of ended on that note, y'all.
And it ended on an unsatisfying note yet again, because I don't feel like Katie defended herself very well, but I also don't think that you could take the word of a wife whose husband is going to jail for illegal gambling. So, you know, gosh, like glass houses, you know, like, I don't know. Because I don't, you know, like, your husband's you're taking your husband, the convicted felon, to jail versus, you know, but I think it just shows once again, Katie specifically going up to talk to her. I do believe Katie was trying to get some kind of dirt. I don't think of all the people at your friend's party, you needed to go up to this woman.
That part, I was just about to say, why are you even talking to her?
And yeah, that's what I was like. You could have kept yourself out of trouble by not even talking to her.
And the fact that your husband last year didn't even want to be in the same scene or possibly seen with Ryan and his homie lets you know that you should have taken the same stance. Just stay away from the people. Now, if y'all are sitting down for dinner, you didn't know y'all was there, like Beyonce and Jay-Z and all them people did with the Kirshner's, fine. Sit there and sit there, eat your food, drink your water. But why would you approach her?
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think Katie was so like socially obtuse that she would go up to Ryan's friend's wife and say, was Ryan involved? I don't think she'd be that stupid. I just don't. I think she's a little more savvy than that. Do I think she maybe was asking questions and maybe Nicole got the feeling she was fishing? Probably, because she probably was. But I think it was a little more subtle than that, personally. And I don't think it's any kind of smoking gun, other than I can just kind of see why Jen is looking at Katie like, I'm just kind of done. I'm cutting bait. Like, you know, like, I'm going to ride. I want to stay on this show. You're clearly on the island and you're not worth saving.
Look, my hand is up like, why is she talking to that woman?
Yeah.
Like, so, hello, what do y'all have in common?
It just goes back to the Katie. You just have no credibility because there's always one more thing.
Nada.
And I mean, and listen, nobody production doesn't have it for you because they don't put you in a good light no matter what. Like none of
Girl.
us can sit here and say we feel confident in you're telling the truth because every time there's like a well and then this. I just not a good fit. I'm sorry. You're a beautiful woman. You have great clothes, Asian or not. You seem nice. I do believe that you had the intention of being loyal to Katie and or to Jen and Gretchen. I thought you were going to have this little alliance thing going on, and it just backfired. And now you're trying to be friends with Tamara, but nobody likes her enough to save your behind.
Oh, wasn't that funny how when they were filming Wrapped and they did
Yes.
their toast, Tamara was on the couch freaking out. She couldn't find her phone, and how could they do this to me? And then
Yeah.
Emily is saying, "No wonder Katie and Tamara are friends. They're just alike." I said, "Ooh."
Yep.
Now next year we know Tamara and Emily gonna have an issue. Shannon's still gonna be on the fence with Tamara. Gretchen comes back. Ooh, Vicky, child, Lord, let it be, let it be. I need to see that. I need to see it.
Vicky's gonna try and bring the Trace Amigas together. That's my prediction.
That'll be a great distraction from Tamara and Gretchen. It'll be a great distraction.
I don't know if if we're going by predictions, I don't know. I do not feel confident that both of those ladies will be back. I'm not saying I wouldn't watch if they were. I'm just saying I don't know. I feel like Katie and Gretchen might be on the island. And I feel like maybe the other ones are back with some new folks. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna say this: whether we trust it or not, or believe it or not,
right?
At least Gretchen attempted to bring back a receipt to clear her name.
Yeah,
and she wasn't out there just willy nilly throwing things out at people and trying to get, fame and fortune off of a lie. Although we know she misspoke.
I was gonna say she had one. Well, no, she had two. She had the whole singing rumor situation. I think she regrets that one. I think she genuinely was drunk and wishes she didn't say that on camera. So I'll give her 1.5 because that misspeak about I went to the hospital thing, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, so, the toxicology report.
Yeah, get out of here. No,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. But Slade, stay out of it. We are done with you.
Yeah, just no more sauce.
Your wife the same way Eddie do, the same way Ryan do. Not like Matt, but he ain't there no more. I'm just saying, take a page
like Shane.
I was about to say, take a page out of Shane's, Ryan's, and Eddie's book, and maybe y'all can have a drink or two somewhere just to. Oh no, they can't because yeah, that ain't gonna work. I just thought about that. That ain't gonna work. It's gonna be some straight fisticuffs.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I thought about that. No, well, we shall see. We shall see.
What? That's on my notes, child. I don't think I got anything else.
Overall, I don't know how you felt about this season. I was a little underwhelmed. I was annoyed by what they focused on. They did get me real good with the Katie stuff there for a while. Was thoroughly entertained. The Tamara Tamara Gretchen stuff got real old real quick.
Let's do our regrets.
There was one point that I can't think of now that you were really pretty much right. And how we usually maybe have one point where we disagree.
I'm always right. No, I'm just kidding.
That is a cancer for you, everyone.
Look, great minds think alike. We are so in tuned with, like you said, occasionally we'll have a difference of opinion, but we're usually on the same page with stuff.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, maybe like the particulars, but hey, Shells, sorry, when I say Shells BZ, I think she's a gamer. Hello, thank you for joining us. We're just wrapping up. What's your regret?
My regret is for them to out Katie the way they did. I regret not seeing her, even filming her with her family, because she had her own storyline with family stuff. Now, in case that fell through, and I understand that they may not have anything to film, but I highly doubt that they couldn't film her. Hell, she was still friends with Tamara, but the fact that they didn't film her at all, I regret not seeing that.
My biggest regret is this whole Gretchen post, Tamara leak, like all of that part of the storyline. I don't like it. That part, get rid of that. I don't want to think that hard to figure out who's telling the truth. I don't want screenshots versus cyber analysis versus, anonymous voices versus Reddit versus, what you get on the podcast. None of that.
And what's the thing? Lie detectors and all that.
And Dumois, all of it. Yeah. Lie detectors included. Yeah. No, thank you.
Leave them actors where they at.
Let the word look, keep it separation of church and state. That's what you got to do, like,
girl.
listen, yeah, like,
tell that to the government. But anywho, okay, we done. It's time to go.
It is. We will see you all back at 8:00. For those of you who and even if you don't, you want to hear some entertaining commentary on a whole other demographic of folks, come back and see at 8:00 for Southern Charm.
That part, I couldn't have said it better myself. So, just to end the show as we normally do,
of course,
let the folks know where they can find you when you ain't talking ish with me, por favor.
You can catch me on Facebook, Psychic Aaron Boyd, or on Instagram and Threads, psychic_ELB. Hit me up in the DMs if you'd like to get a reading.
All right, y'all. Like I said that before, hype the video when you can. When you see the hype over there by those 3 dots where you can comment live or comment on the replay, there's a hype situation going on and get me in more spaces and places. And just trying to get monetized before the end of the year. Also, when you subscribe, make sure that bell is black. All right, y'all. See y'all in 30 minutes. Bye.